Oh, before we do that, welcome, a very warm and fuzzy welcome to the first episode of Bad Playerz TCG podcast with me, Ali Brown, and this guy here, Lewis Guinan.
Yeah.
And I pronounced it right. I was convinced I was going to get it wrong.
No, well done. This is the first for you. I'm really proud of you.
Yeah. So we've been here. We've got this podcast set up
Somehow, yeah, with two little brain cells amongst our two bodies.
with will and determination.
Yeah. So yeah.
No, I've wanted to do something like this for a while, but it kind of needed a kick up the bum because I'm not very good at doing stuff on my own. And it's an idea that lives in my head and is never put into reality. So I guess, what are we? So we're kind of, in the grand scheme of things, we're just two local players, aren't we?
Yeah.
You're less local than me.
Well, I still occasionally come to some of your leagues.
Why? It's not like I'm a celebrity.
Oh, shut up.
Occasionally come to you.
I'm back to you. Yeah.
Like you've been doing it longer.
Yeah.
And,
about 5 years, I think.
You've been to how
6
many?
years?
And how many world champs have you been to?
2.
2. Whereas me, 0, only
Yeah.
started during COVID. So.
But I'm not amazing.
You're not
So,
like a Tord or something who is just a freak of nature genius.
Yeah, not yet. but it takes time, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll start because everyone's probably thinking, who the hell are these guys? We're just who we are.
These goons, yeah.
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 These absolute goons. Who we are and kind of how we got into the game.
Yeah. So
yeah, So how did you initially get into playing Pokemon? Like, did you just randomly find it? Did someone because I know your dad plays it as well.
Yeah.
Was it kind of thrust upon you? Like, here, you must play this game now.
Yeah.
Or so just talk about those initial steps when you kind of, this is a new game.
Yeah.
And then turning into, I actually like this. I want to carry on playing it.
Yeah. So it was like, I don't know, 7-year-old me or 8-year-old me or something like that was when Pokemon Go came out. So that was like my first introduction to Pokemon.
God, wow.
Yeah, so
okay.
that's when Pokemon, my parents were playing
like in
it.
2016 or something.
I think I didn't have an account then, but I still was like, wow, these Pokemon are actually in my living room or stuff like that. So I was really interested in that. And then we went on holiday in Florida. Obviously going to a different place playing Pokemon Go is like really cool. You get new regional variants and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But my dad gave me some spending money to go into a Target. It was like 20 quid. And the first thing I picked up was like a XY Gyarados tin.
Right.
And I just opened it at the hotel room.
So you hadn't been into cards before
Nope.
you spent
I
that money?
literally didn't even know they existed until I saw them.
So why did you pick up that card tin? Just because you thought, that's
It was
cool?
Gyarados was, I think it was my dad's strongest Pokemon at the time on Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is really cool. This is like just on Pokemon Go. So then I opened the box when we got to the hotel room. I pulled like a full art Mega Altaria X.
Ooh.
I still have that at home to this day. Like
you got it
in a
graded
top
or
layer.
anything?
Oh, I haven't got it graded yet, but it's battered. It's like I'm the kid. I was the kid that was like, look at my Charizard, bends it and all that
Fold
stuff.
it into 8 pieces
Yeah,
and put it back in your pocket.
But it's pretty battered, but I still have it. And I was like, oh, these are really cool. And we looked at prices and stuff like that. And whilst finding prices, we actually found out that there was a card game and that there was a shop in Worcester that played the game.
Oh.
So that meant my first proper tournament was Sun and Moon Guardians Rising pre-release. And we did like a little introduction, both me and my dad, a little introduction into the card game with the shop owner. It was only like we got given 2 like beginner decks. So I kind of did play a theme deck, and that was like my first ever introduction to Pokemon. But
yeah,
maybe that doesn't really count. But
we talked about theme decks earlier, and
I was saying how I really never played
I've never
them.
played one.
No.
Whereas I kind of like playing them sometimes on the online. You can do the theme deck only tournament
Don't
things.
They are funny. There's some wacky scenarios.
Yeah, you have to play them so differently, don't you? They're much slower.
Yeah, but we just did like an introduction, like why you can only bench basics and stuff like that, and how many energy you can attach, and playing supporters and items and prizes and just the basic stuff. And then we just played in the pre-release, just so we didn't come to the pre-release and have no idea what we're doing. We still had no idea what we were doing in the pre-release, but we had fun, and that was the main aim. And then like 2 weeks later, there was like an actual league. And I did play in that. I think I played Espeon GX Garbodor. Yeah. And that was my first ever deck.
Yeah.
So that's about it for me. It's a bit boring. It's just it was
That's not quite boring.
I mean, it's more interesting than just.
It's
found the
probably more
online
interesting than mine.
Oh, okay.
Is that my voice?
I don't know.
Found the online game.
Yeah, probably.
I think so with me it's much later than you. We're in the lockdown of I don't know, one of the summers, I think 2020, and I think initially I found stuff on YouTube because Pokemon was just getting popular then.
Yeah.
So you see all like the YouTubers, but more biased around collecting than playing the game.
That was
So but that kind of reintroduced me to, oh yeah, there's still Pokemon. Because
back in the 90s,
they're
still around.
Well, back in '99 when Pokemon came out originally, I was in primary school, and and it was like year 5 or year 6, and we had all of the base set cards. We just had them in like. We didn't know what sleeves were. I don't think sleeves were invented back then.
Just the Charizard that's just out in the sleeve.
You'd have your bulk of cards, you put them in your pocket, bring them to school.
Yeah.
And you'd have everything in there. Like, I had a hollow Charizard.
And they'll trade it for, like, a Clefairy or something.
Yeah, well, there was one. I had a hollow Blastoise. I don't know if it was, like, first edition or what. I don't know. It was just a hollow Blastoise from... And one of my friends had a hollow Charizard, and he wanted to trade for a Blastoise. Yeah. And I was like, but Charizard's better than Blastoise. Oh. This is when I was 8. I think I was 8. And he goes, yeah, but I just like Blastoise better. So I went, okay. So
okay, you gained a Charizard.
Yeah, that was when I gained base set Charizard. Yeah. But as with most people, they all kind of ended up in the bin about a year later.
Yeah, but obviously with the lockdown, lots of people got bored. I know that.
Yeah.
So people just introduced it. People's first introduction was online, and those little city championships you can do with NPCs.
Yeah, it's mad. So that's where I got into Pokemon as a franchise, and when the first games came out on the Game Boy Color, I had Pokemon Blue. Wow. And I remember we had a family holiday driving from England down to south of France.
Yeah, wow.
So I just started playing on the start of the journey.
You finished the whole game.
Squirtle. Yeah, and by the time I got there, I had a Blastoise.
Wow.
And I was like, I absolutely, because it was the first game you could just wander around.
Bobbed to the Elite Four.
Yeah, I think I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so then when I found it again in COVID, it was just like, oh yeah, I like that. Let's just look at this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What was your first deck? Like, because I know online you can just scan the codes and they gave you theme decks or.
So I downloaded the online game.
Yeah.
And you get the theme decks.
The Mental Knight theme deck. I bet you played that for.
What Pokemon is that?
That's the one you get whenever you join the game. It gives you a mental might.
Is that the psychic one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got that.
Oh yeah, everyone has that. It's what you get at the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah. So when you just initially, you might not, I don't know if you remember, but initially when you first do the game, like you just have to get like to the next kind of rank up.
Yeah.
Just by playing theme decks.
Yeah.
And then you can still. Like now you have your daily challenges, don't you? But
I don't. Yeah,
I don't even do them. If I do, they're by accident.
Yeah, that's just exactly the same. If I'm playing a psychic deck at the time, I'll be like, I got knock out 8 psychic Pokemon.
Took me 6 months, but I've done it.
I've done it. Yeah.
So at the time, the most accessible way for me was to buy one of the V Battle boxes.
Yeah, was that like what was out at that time?
It was ADP and Zacian. It wasn't called a V because ADP is GX, isn't it?
Oh, it was tag team. It was like
a tag team battle box or something.
I don't know, tag team battle deck, something like that. And those V battle deck. No, that's not what we just.
That's a new thing, yeah.
I can't remember, but those I know what you mean.
The same thing.
You get the pre-built deck, and because there was the Zacian ADP one, I remember that because everyone was like, "Oh my god, they're just making it so accessible." It's stuff like that.
So the thing is with these V battle boxes. Having that, I had to buy 2 of them to get the full play set.
Yeah.
But it was such an accessible, easy way to get into the game and have a deck that was good.
Yeah, they do have those now.
Because and that helped me as a new player get in and be able to then play like competitively. I've got the tools to do it.
Yeah.
I've still got to learn
both online and in real life. Then.
Yeah, so you get the code card to do it online as well.
Because you came to our league your first time and you were playing ADP Zacian and I was playing Pikachu Zekrom. and you actually beat me on your first time.
I did.
Because I did like the absolute stinkiest misplay
Well,
ever.
I've only just found out that you misplayed. I actually thought I won.
No,
I was like, oh, you misplayed.
No, I did the stinkiest misplay in the whole world, but yeah. So
But
I'm not avoiding the fact that I lost to a beginner here, but
No, but like I have. Well, I'm still technically a beginner, but so yeah, that was my way in, and then I just liked the game.
yeah, the game is fun.
And to be honest, with my like professional job I do, it's very hard for me to switch off.
Yeah.
Because I'm always kind of when you work for yourself, you're always kind of thinking about stuff. So but when you play Pokemon, you literally cannot think about anything else because you're just thinking about all the different scenarios that could happen and what the best thing to do is, and it takes all of your brain power. So for me, it's kind of like a mental break from life, and I can just immerse myself.
Get on your iPad and battle some mons. Yeah, it's like when beginners join, obviously they're not going to be very confident in themselves. But I think being confident is obviously the first step, really, because you've got that deck. But if you're not confident in yourself, you're just going to be like, I'm going to get wrecked by these people because they've been playing longer than me. But when actually, if you think about it, you do have as good as a chance as anyone. Because that's like the main aim of this podcast, call it. It's like beginners, isn't it? Trying to not entice beginners into playing, because that sounds a bit like, but like make it seem like that you're also.
We're one of them.
Yeah, in some way, yeah.
We're not like the world's best players up on a pedestal.
No.
Doing with crazy minds that do amazing plays, but like the average player just wouldn't be able to operate on that kind of level.
No,
we make the mistakes.
Yeah, we do make the mistakes that everyone makes, 100%.
But when we don't, and we have the days where we play well, I think we can play pretty well.
We're proud of ourselves, definitely.
Yeah, like we're not absolutely at the bottom of the pile here.
No. No, we can like fight for ourselves, stand our ground. But that's really it for like our introduction to ourselves.
Yeah. So what's your best? What would you say is your one best achievement to date in the game?
I would say, in 2000, I can't remember the year now, but it's the year that the Nashville Worlds was on in Nashville, Tennessee.
Before I started playing.
That was my first year playing, and I actually qualified for Worlds on my first year playing.
Well, you were senior?
Yeah, senior. But I only started playing like a quarter of the way through the season, so I like had to go to cups. I went to I think I went to a regional in that time. I believe that was Lille, and I also went to one in Germany.
So quite a commitment then.
Yeah. We had a group that took me there, and the organizer realised, and still does to this day, that if younger people go to regional tournaments, they'll come home with some product. Because I know when I went to a Lille,
because there's not so many,
exactly.
there?
No, there's like when I was playing, there was about 65 seniors playing in like regional tournaments.
And how many masters?
God knows, like 200-300 then. That's when the game was
a lot smaller than it is now.
Yeah, like it's massive now. It's really grown. But I came back with like a booster box and a half, and I didn't even do that well. But like regionals, especially for seniors and juniors, is really good. But even as masters, if you're playing a master in a regional, you don't want to be that guy that goes 0-3 and drops. You want to be that guy that plays all the rounds. You may not win any rounds.
Yeah. But
you learn.
I had this conversation. You might have been in the car as well. We were with our friend Nasib.
Yeah.
And we were saying that if you go to a regional, you spend all the effort and the money and the time to go and visit a region, and take part in it. You've got minimum, is it 8 or 9 rounds?
9 rounds.
But 9 rounds,
something like that.
So even if I haven't been to a regionals yet. I want to go to one soon. There's one in a couple of months. We'll talk about soon. That I'm going to go to that knowing I've never played in a tournament like this before, never played in a regionals. I have no expectations. I just want to go and enjoy it. So it might mean that I go 0-3. I lose my first 3 games. But rather than, we know people that have just dropped and gone home then. But you're missing out on all of that experience and knowledge of just playing out the 9 rounds.
Exactly, yeah.
Because you're going to get so much out of that. Even if say you lost all 9, you're still going to get a lot of learning.
Yeah, exactly.
Than if you lost 3 and went home.
You're going to make less misplays in the future if you know you've done
them.
And even if I know people at regionals are really if they win, they're gonna be nice.
Yeah.
But they're gonna help and instruct you where they gone wrong. That's
Yeah,
happened to me.
even
before.
I've done that at locals.
Yeah, I've been like, oh, that turn 10 minutes ago, and I'm just
remember that turn, the turn 3
yeah.
10 minutes ago, and you did that.
Yeah, it's like, no,
No, don't remember that.
But that'll help. But back to what I was saying, that was my biggest achievement, was qualifying for Worlds on my first year of playing.
That's pretty cool.
Because on the first year, unfortunately, I couldn't go to the actual the World Championships.
Where was it? America, you said?
Yeah, in Nashville.
In
it was
United States?
Yeah, it was too expensive there to go.
Yeah.
And obviously, I thought I was going. So I came back from school one day and for my parents to be like, we can't go.
Yeah.
We'll have to go on a cheaper holiday. Was really gutting. So
Yeah.
that's why I mean, like, we're not really like the people that can, with all their Twitch money and their Pokemon money, can go to Brazil in a regional, lose that, but
Let's
then
just
next week
fly
they
off.
go to like Germany. We can't do that, and
No.
we don't expect anyone in our audience to be
When-
doing that.
We're definitely not privileged players, and
No,
we have
that's
to be
100% true.
mindful of what cards we're buying and what decks we're buying, because you know we just don't have all that money available to just go, I'm going to buy Lugia, I'm going to buy Palkia,
Yeah, Tina as well.
I'm going to buy Giratina.
Yeah.
I actually have that deck, but I traded for most of it.
Yeah,
a lot of graft.
I've never built Tina on mine.
Yeah.
Yeah. What would you say your biggest achievement is in the smaller time period that you've been playing? Obviously, you might have a smaller achievement like.
Yeah, it's
one
all right,
tournament.
Lewis.
No,
Yeah,
no.
I
I mean
haven't
like.
been to a
No, I
Worlds.
mean like. No, I mean like you know. What I
Yeah,
mean.
so mine is probably qualifying for, not just qualifying for Team Challenge,
Yes.
but we made our local store, the same store, the Worcester one.
Yeah.
We made the top 128
Yeah,
stores,
you
and
did.
that's globally.
Yeah, you did.
And we only lost to the ultimate the winning team
Yeah.
with Tord
Yeah,
Repclev in
so
it.
you can't moan at that.
So round whatever it was with the top 128, I played Tord
Yeah.
on the first round, played awfully, just didn't draw
Yeah.
over it, and he just absolutely slaughtered me.
Yeah, Todd is next level player. I'll tell you that.
And then the other team members, I think we maybe won one match of that,
Yeah.
and then they just quite easily won that. But for not having, so I played heavily online and not much in real life, so that's probably the kind of the furthest I've got.
Yeah.
So it's interesting because I feel quite calm and I feel quite good about playing online, but it doesn't always translate to playing in real life.
That's so true.
Because
it does it for you, doesn't it? Sometimes.
Yeah, and especially when I started going to league,
Yeah.
like there's so much noise.
Oh, honestly, the kids in the background that are like, "That's not fair. He took all. If I would have won if he didn't take all his prizes."
And there's someone asking you a question, and there's someone like sat right here next to you, like laughing really loudly, talking about this, and I'm like, I can't think through what moves I want to do this turn because I'm just
Yeah,
can't.
that's true. Yeah.
So that took me a long time to start to get to grips with, to just kind of blank all that out. Because initially, if you're new there, you kind of want to not come across quite miserable and not talk to anyone. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you want to try and do well in the games as well.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a social game, isn't it?
It's a social
lot of it
game.
is social. Obviously, well, you talking that half the way you communicate, 99% of the way you communicate through the game is through talking.
Yeah,
Like
Marnie.
I'll play Marnie, I'll quick ball away this, and then also play Evolution Incense at the same time. This is my quick ball. This is my Evolution Incense. So it's also stuff like that, and that's how people will be like, okay, this person actually wants to be part of our community. Add him to a Facebook group that we have. Add him to a Discord.
Yeah.
And then you just get part of the community. Oh, they'll add you online, and let's say you need 2 Marnie for like staples or 4 Marnie for staples. They'll be like, oh, he's got 2, he's got 1.
Yeah,
spare.
so there's that. So there's that. Obviously, you talk to people and get the community feel as well. But for me, it was like I had to treat it like going there more to play than just going and sitting with a load of people and just mucking about for it or just having a laugh for a bit. And then I started playing better because I know I can play okay from online, but I'm sat at home in my chair, no distractions, and I can actually think through and make better. I misplay less.
Yeah, I do get you.
And I guess it's easy for me to keep better perspective of the whole game.
Yeah.
That's kind of the key word, I think.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that will be overshadowed soon with a better achievement. You know.
Yeah, Liverpool champion. There you go.
Liverpool.
Yeah.
You know what? Is it possible to get streamed on round one?
No, I don't know if they do.
Just say, for example, randomly. Like,
no, I think streams start at like third round or
Oh,
something.
do they? Okay.
Yeah, like I think you have to be like 3-0, like let's say 3-0.
I was going to say, because you could just get...
Because I don't think streams start straight away, because they want the good players to start.
Yeah, because I was always confused about that.
I think at Worlds, I'm pretty sure every round is streamed.
Because it's Worlds.
Because like the first round is usually the reigning champ. So it was like Henry Brandt was playing in the first round, I think, at Worlds. I can't remember what he was playing, but
because imagine if you had if they did do round one at Liverpool and you've got two absolute beginners.
Yeah, that's why they don't.
Who were so nervous and they put them on a big stage and it's like, oh my god, how do I...
So going back to what we were saying about decks online and testing as well. We went there talking about, you know, what I mean, like decks.
Yeah.
And what are you currently testing as you're talking about this Liverpool and you're really excited to go? Like loads of people are. For loads of people, it's going to be their first regional. Especially, obviously, in the UK, that's going to be... There's only 2 regionals, or the ones in internationals in the UK.
Yeah, the one in London.
The one in London been announced for April.
Yeah.
Which is actually my dad's birthday. The day
What,
it's
the
on.
actual day?
The 16th is when it's on. So what were you thinking or testing now? Obviously, there's rotation made possible.
Yeah, like I'm aware of rotation, so I've actually put aside all of the cards with the registration mark D.
Yeah.
They're going to be rotated in Feb.
The end of it's either they've said January, but they haven't said when, have they? I can't remember.
Jan or Feb. Well, yeah.
It's like the beginning of the month, yeah.
So there's still going to be rotation for Liverpool.
Yeah.
So at the minute, I've been playing a lot of the Lost Box deck.
Right. Okay.
So I'm quite a fan of Tord and how his approach to the game, and you know, he's just one of those geniuses, isn't he? So I've been playing that, and initially I would lose every game with it. But
that's happened.
That's normal.
Yeah, that's normal.
And then when you learn, you figure it out, and you kind of go, all right, oh, this is how you're meant to play this kind of deck. You start to win a bit more.
Yeah.
So I've been playing a lot of Lost Box.
That's good.
Giratina as well, because it's got the similar kind of engine to
that deck. It's so bad.
Do you?
It's just like attach all the energy. Slap. That's all they do.
Well, to be honest, a lot of games, the first half of the game I found is the same as Lost Box.
It is, yes.
And you can choose to not bring Giratina.
So there are some matchups where you don't play the Tina.
If you're playing Lost Box.
If there is you finish with Tina usually. If you know you can get the tanker turn.
But it's nice because I like having that other option and that dynamic to it. Obviously, with Lost Box, you can have that Radiant Charizard to do big damage at the end of a game. But I kind of like Giratina because I've just got fond memories of playing the Game Boy game. Which one is it? Is it not Platinum?
No, I can't remember when he came out. Was it?
At the end of one of the games, you go into some weird upside down place, and it's all like
the lost. It's what I always call it, the lost zone, but it's
it kind of probably is.
It's like the underworld, isn't it?
The underworld.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of like
that's where Tina is. Like there's a distorted dimension. Yeah.
That's it. Another dimension.
Like another dimension.
Yeah. So I kind of like that. And recently I've been trying to figure out how to play the Reggie deck.
Oh yeah, that's
the small Reggies. We have to get out all 6 of them on the bench and the active at the same time. But it's quite for someone who isn't that experienced in the game.
Yeah.
And realizing that one slight misplay can ruin your entire game.
I think Reggie is a good deck for beginners.
It's accessible
in the fact that it's accessible. I'd say it's relatively easy to play, but it's hard to get good at it, if that makes sense. Like hard to get.
So
the
you mean like
right.
So it's a deck that nearly won a regionals. There was
it was
4
in top 8 of.
So it has the potential to win and be one of the best.
With the addition of gift energy as well, because that's been banned online for quite a while now. It's just recently been
so no one could test it. But the
people who did do well were the people that tested it in real life with that gift energy, like Azul and all that, because they realised how powerful it was, where people couldn't really tech against it because it wasn't online at all.
Yeah,
but
so that was an advantage.
Yeah, Reggie's is a really good choice.
It's one of those decks where like it's a really good deck. Like it can beat nearly anything, and it is absolutely amazing. But there are a very, 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 very small percentage of people who can play it to that potential.
Yes.
because there are so many different variables in that deck.
Yeah.
As opposed to Lost Box.
Yeah.
Where you want to go second, you want to have a comfy there, and you want to do Chorus Experiment.
That's like which Reggie do you attack with, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Even deciding which Reggie to start in your active. Do you want to have it? Do you want to have one with Reggie Gate? Do you want to put your Reggie Drago in there? Like, we're getting a bit. People don't know the deck. We're getting a bit too much now. But
it's the basis of it.
But there's so many more little small decisions you need to make with it.
Yeah.
But when you've got someone, it probably sets out the great players with the good players, and then the bad players. Hey.
Wow, you made a joke. Well done, Ali. You've
bad
done
players like us.
Yeah,
well,
like
me
us.
say more than you, but bad players nonetheless.
Sometimes I'm the worst.
But talking about decks, one of my favourite decks, and I am a big Rapid Strike Urshifu fanboy.
Yeah, I love that. It's alright. Yeah.
I would play that. I've played that a lot.
You've played it so much. I've played it a little bit, but you've played that lots. You played it in the team challenge once, didn't you?
Yeah.
Then the first one, didn't you play it? I can't remember. I'm putting words in your mouth here.
In the first ever team challenge, I played the ADP in Zacian for a different store.
Oh, okay.
It was before Worcester ever did one.
Oh, okay. So ignore me then. But you have played Urshifu in tournaments like at our
a
league
lot.
and
we had a winner box competition. I played Urshifu.
Yes.
Well, I came third.
Yeah, when we at the Kidderminster Geek Retreat.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
I
got a bit
third.
of an advertisement for them then. I'm sure they'll be happy with that.
You have to do this thing where you go,
not sponsored.
We are not. There are many local game shows around the country. Like we're not associated with just one of them.
Yeah.
But if anyone does want to.
Yeah. So yeah, is that it?
We accept Pokemon cards. We accept sleeves. We accept we accept Pokemon mugs.
Yeah, anything. Yeah. So that is that it? Have you been playing anything else? Or...
Mostly those Lost Box Giratina, Reggie.
All the prep for Liverpool.
What about you? Because I know you've been playing a kind of control-y kind of deck, which is kind of maybe other people will say that not anti-meta, but it could be.
Yeah, it's definitely. It's not. It's not. It's Mewtwo. The Mewtwo v Union.
Yeah. So talk about what have you been playing?
So I've been playing both online and in real life. 2 decks. The Mewtwo v Union control deck, which Sander Walczyk has updated since.
I love Sander.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's a legend, another legend.
Yeah. So he made top 4 in the American International tournament with the deck, but has updated it now with the Lost Origin and set expansion and stuff like that. So that's a really controller, really hard to play. So
for people that not quite sure, what is a control deck?
So it's manipulating your opponent's game state. The usage of crushing hammers is obviously the energy manipulation.
So it's causing disruption.
There's disruption on levels. So there's also ways you can, with Garlemine, which adds 2 extra retreat to the Pokemon, and 2 bosses orders, you can get lots of support Pokemon stuck, like the Bee Barrel line, the really powerful
bring
Bee
stuff
Barrel.
in the active, and then if they run out of switching cards.
Or if they've benched the Crobat or something, especially in decks that play Sharon's Care, you can boss up a Pokemon that isn't Sharon's Careable, that is dark,
so a non-normal type.
So it's about getting stuff stuck. You've got the Meltank as well, which some decks have literally no answers for. There's the Cancel and Cologne, obviously, but a lot of people don't really play that. You have Misfortunate Sisters to deal with that, which is look at the top 5 cards to get rid of items. So it's you're trying to basically play the game for your opponent, but badly, if that makes sense. And then after you've done all of this locking and getting your Mewtwo v Union in the discard pile, because that's the that's the V Union rule. You have to get all 4 in the discard. Then they merge as one cool card. It has a really cool animation online.
I like it. A lot of the time it's you've won. You've got your V Union.
And then you just scoop up your Snorlax, which has been drawing your cards for the rest of the game, for the whole game. And then you have this Mewtwo v Union in the active, which has an attack which you heal 200 damage each turn.
So,
and at that stage, you'd like to hope that they can't do anything. And the deck can't deck out as well. It plays Palpad, Silene, Team Meowcheer.
Yeah.
And I think we did a little bit of a calculation in our testing group that you need 17 tails in a row, something like that, to deck out.
And every time I've played Lewis recently in a tournament, I've been playing a deck that cannot possibly beat unless you absolutely break.
That's the lost box.
The lost box.
Yeah.
So as soon as you got your Union out, I'm like, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, good too. And then I lost game 2.
Oh, I've
Because
lost.
yeah, we played the last week, didn't we?
Yeah.
At the another shop in Kidderminster.
Yeah, so I
not
was
sponsored.
and yeah, so I was like, well, I'm not going to win this unless something goes drastically wrong on your part. But...
Yeah, and I've also been playing. Well, that deck's also good. Is Gudra V-Star. I've been having a lot of fun with this wacky just tank
with Arceus.
The Arceus Gudra V-Star. In my opinion, that is the best version of Gudra. You can play the Lost Box version, but I think that's just slower. But the Arceus card, obviously, is one of the best cards that we have at the moment. Best support Pokemon, if you get what I mean. But it's like support Pokemon as well as your main attacker.
Arceus is a strange one because Arceus V-Star was a formidable card, like when it came out, and
it was insane,
and it was amazing just on its own. But now, as a deck on its own, it's now falling out of favour.
Yeah, but it's more now. Arceus is your starter Pokemon to attach and power up your.
It's now supporting another Pokemon rather than being the Pokemon.
In this example, it's Gudra. So Gudra with that rolling iron attack, there's 200 damage, which is actually quite a lot for what it does as well.
Yeah.
And it also take 80 less damage. Combined with the Gardevoir, Radiant Gardevoir's ability, that's 100 less damage. You play Crystal Cave Healing for 30 damage healed, and double Turbo Energy to power up the Arceus as well. But you can also attach that and play Hyper Potion in the same turn.
Yeah,
and
there's a lot of healing.
I've also got a cheeky Iscan in there, which if anyone is planning on playing Gudra, you put one Iscan in there. Draw 4 if there's a Hisuian in the active.
Yeah,
I love that card a bit. But it's a really good deck. It manipulates like your opponent's attacks damage, well, obviously, and it makes it so the Gudra survives for about 3 turns.
Yeah.
And if the Gudra can outlive the attacker, it kind of wins. And most of the time, you're finishing with Arceus.
So someone asked me a question about that deck.
Oh God.
So and I answered them, but we'll see if I was right or not.
Yeah.
What I said. They said like because Arceus has a V-Star power.
Yeah.
And so does Gudra.
Yeah.
He said, "Oh, so which one do you want to use?" And so I said to him, "If you get set up really well and it's all peachy, then you save it for the Gudra.
Yes.
But if you start and it's going to be naff and you need." It's like I need to use my V-Star power on Arceus now to get set up, otherwise I'm lost.
Yeah.
And you use it on the Arceus.
Yeah. So the Starbirth is usually if you miss double Turbo Energy or like switch to get out of the active or both. That's usually the main culprit.
Yeah.
Or if you have got that double Turbo turn 1, you're going first. Then next turn you attach metal or water energy to the Arceus. You evolve the Arceus. Then you get, if you don't have to use Starbirth, but you still have Gudra and say another Pokemon on the bench, like Gudra, Radiant Gardevoir, then obviously the Arceus just powers up the Gudra. Mm-hmm. That's the situation where you do not need Starbirth, but Starbirth...
And save it for later.
Starbirth can also come in clutch later on. If you have just an Arceus V on the bench, as well as the Gudra and the active.
Oh, late game.
It could also be like, they're starting to retreat now because the 200 damage, and they're realising, I need to start retreating, otherwise he's going to start taking prizes.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to be able to knock out this Gudra in like 4 turns.
Yeah.
Then you bench the Arceus, and Arceus can be your boss answer as well.
Yeah,
so yeah, but they're
good.
both really viable. You can what's it called? Moisture Star. It's got such a weird name.
That was like the first time that was used on the stream.
Yeah,
the commentators were loving it.
I was like, what is that? But you can you just use that, fully heal the Pokemon like a max potion, but without the energy ramification.
And people, these healing decks as well, people cannot contain their frustration with. Even I was just playing Arceus on its own and using Sharon's Care. So Arceus V-Star was good when it was hard to one-shot. It's quite easy now to one-shot.
Yeah, that is true.
It was maybe the last format or one before that. It was hard. You couldn't really one-shot it. So you could get hit and then you could Sharon's Care, put it all back into your hand and then put a fresh one up.
Yes.
And you could see your opponent just, the steam coming out their ears.
It's
just
also, the mirror match of that, honestly, I'd rather watch paint.
I played a mirror
match. It's so boring. I'd rather watch paint dry, honestly. It's just whoever messes up first.
It was one of our last, in the team challenge, it was one, the German or Italian store, I can't remember which one. But I think we'd already won as a team. And on my last match was the mirror match. and it went on for ages.
Yeah, it's such a slug, honestly.
And like I literally couldn't see like a win condition for ages, and it could have gone either way.
Yeah.
And eventually, I somehow won it. But
eventually, yeah.
yeah, it just took so long, and it wasn't clear.
The deck does get a few, obviously, with the new set. Not this set, but the last set. There's the Lake of Equity, and there's the what's it called? Gardevoir as well. So you can have ways of taking less damage, but you play against Reggie, for example, that does kind of just batter you.
Yeah, unless you're still playing Dunsparce, but then
you have to play Dunsparce and Manaphy.
But Reggie doesn't really play a boss, does it?
Not really.
Once you've got your Dunsparce there, you're kind of all right.
But it is hard with, let's say, for the Tina.
Well, there's a card which might actually help Arceus V-Star in the new set, so we'll look at that in a bit.
The Poncho, I know what it is. It's that thing. Oh, it's so good.
And also one of the energies potentially.
Which one's? We'll see. We'll wait for that. We're getting too ahead of ourselves.
So if you had to choose now, what would you play for Liverpool? Because it's the same format as we haven't tested.
Hopefully, it's the same format.
We haven't tested much of the Silver Tempest yet, but just say
at the moment it's looking like some sort of control deck. That's what I'm going to say.
I'm hoping. I have a feel controls for my limited for my limited knowledge and what I've picked up on and learned, and I've played a lot of control decks as well. For the last year or so, control has been awful, but now it's starting to get more support.
It's got stuff,
and it's going to get a bit better.
Yeah, so I think that's a really good overview of our decks, to be honest. That really encapsulates us as a players, as a player.
As a players. We are one, Lewis.
Yeah, no, we are one today. Yeah.
So should we look at Silver Tempest?
Oh yeah, because that obviously could actually help some of our decks, or hinder. Well, no.
So we'll start with that card I mentioned. So you mentioned the Poncho.
Yeah, that's the Leafy Poncho. Yes, this card is so cool. It looks like some sort of like Caribbean like dance card or something, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So whenever your opponent plays a supporter card from their hand, prevent all effects of that card done to the Pokemon V-Star or Pokemon V-Max this card is attached to.
Stops boss.
So if you've got a heavily damaged
Arceus, there you go.
Arceus V-Star with 30 HP left on it.
There's no boss coming up.
No.
They'll have to cross switch you, which not every deck plays. There's only a handful of decks that play those cross switches.
I guess the only thing would be you won't be able to have your big charms and all your choice belts.
But I do think this is a very strong card. Yeah. It's one of the better littler cards in the format.
The other one I was thinking was this. Because at the minute, because V-Guard energy, it takes 30 less damage.
Yes.
So if you've got 30 less damage from that energy, you've got Radiant Gardevoir on the bench taking 20 less damage. Yeah,
that's true. That helps in huge.
And then say that you've got your big charm on as well, another 30 less damage, or 30 more HP, sorry. You're now a lot harder to one-shot.
Yes.
Unless you're a Giratina.
I could just one-shot anything then.
Unless you've got your
big parasol
on,
but you'd be playing like tools galore. Play a little rotom.
You'd have to play that card that lets you move tools around or discard them. That's just too much.
No, we're not playing.
What is it?
Is it shopping centre?
The stadium?
It's the shopping centre, isn't it?
Yeah.
I can't remember the exact text of the card. It's like shopping centre.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's some other good stuff in the set, isn't there? Like, no, not Trainer. There's Trainer. There's the Serena. That'll be Serena will be the next Marnie. Like, so, you know what I mean? Like the next draw.
Yeah,
after rotation it will be. We'll see, because you've got Boss as well as the second effect. So draw.
So discard up to. You can choose one. Discard up to 3 cards from your hand. You must discard at least one. If you do, draw cards until you have 5 cards in your hand. And then the other option is switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon V with their active Pokemon. Okay,
so I'm looking at that and straight away I see Mewtwo Reunion. That could be good in.
Yeah.
That could be really strong in Mewtwo Reunion. You get what I mean? So if you have a Mewtwo in your hand, you get rid of it. Especially if it's like Serena and Mewtwo.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
That's quite good in that deck. But also just in general, it could be, not necessarily, but it could be good in Palkia to get those water energies in. Stuff like that.
Yeah. And I know maybe... Sometimes with the Reggie deck, you need to discard your energy earlier on.
Yeah, that would also be good.
So you can get rid of them quickly.
Yeah, I'd say that was a relatively viable option.
And also, like another option is I used to, kind of not really played anymore, but the Zoroark Stage 2.
Which one's that?
So if you've got a Stage 1 in your discard, you can use Zoroark's ability to replace it.
The Zoro box one.
Zoro box, yeah. So trying to get rid of the Stage 1s.
That's a really good idea, yeah.
So that, because that's... I kind of like that deck. I used to play it a little bit in a kind of control.
Actually, speaking of that deck that you're on about, there's actually a Sigilyph, I think. There's a Psychic type Sigilyph, which will be really... I think this will be really strong in some sort of...
Did we look at that earlier?
No, I'm not sure, but it's on there. It's the Sigilyph. Is it on there?
Sigilyph. There it is.
There it is. So that's really strong. You can see it there.
So warning, search your deck for a basic Pokemon and put it onto your bench. Then shuffle your deck. If your opponent's active Pokemon is a Pokemon V, you may put up to 5 basic Pokemon onto your bench in this way instead.
You see how that's good in that? If they start a V, which a lot of decks do at this stage,
you can just get set up straight away.
And then there's Zoroark. So if you're playing Arcanine, let's say Arcanine comes down, and then you've got, I don't know, another Arcanine, or that gets you the Venusaur as well. So there's that Arcanine deck. If you have no cards in your hand, it does like 160 damage for no energy cost. But it could also be good in like
any deck, because it's not just, it can be V's. You can have a V deck.
Yeah, because I played what was it, Wormadam, Wormadam box with Zoroark, and that would have been good then. If I, especially starting that. So it's good. It's not like the best card in the set, clearly, but
it could just be a one-off in some kind of deck.
Yeah, we just pulled that in a pack today, and I noticed.
Just had a look at it.
We noticed.
Well, we'll look at one of your favourite cards of the set, Jinx.
Yeah,
so because its ability, Selfish Lips. So if this Pokemon is knocked out by damage from an attack from your opponent's Pokemon V, your opponent can't take any prize cards for it. So that reminds me of that robot trainer card thing that used to be around.
There was the only one I can remember is Pokédoll, but it was Robo Substitute there. So there was Robo Substitute, Pokédoll. Now there was the Trevenant, which you had to evolve.
Stage 2?
Yeah, the Stage 1 Trevenant.
That's the recent one, isn't it?
Yeah, that's... So, but now Jinx as a basic has the same effect. That's obviously really good in Mewtwo. I see a really good option there for some sort of control deck. So you've got the Selfish...
Because you want the time to kind of get set up and get all your Mewtwo v Uni pieces in the discard.
And you could...
Not be taken... You could be stopping your opponent taking prize cards in the meantime by leaving Jinx in the
That could give you, if you play 3, let's say, that could give you 3 extra turns.
Yeah.
But you could also play it with Clara to get those 2 Jinx back, and that is a card that Mewtwo v Uni does play already, and that can adapt. Obviously, you'll be taking cards out for a Jinx or a Jinx posse, if you will.
Because at the minute you're playing lots of the Gormandize Snorlax, but that's rotating out soon.
Yes, Gormandize does go, which is very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. Really shed a little tear for that card. But I think Jinx is really strong. It's one of, I think there was a tier list I watched, and it was like the 3rd best card or something.
Yeah, well, big brain, and obviously I like it because one of my favorite illustrator is the artist of this card, which I'm going to attempt to pronounce it. Tomokazu Kamiya.
I don't know if that's right, but
we'll see.
We'll say that's right.
If one of our 2 listeners knows how it's pronounced.
One of our 2, please do tell us. I think another thing to note really quickly at the end is the very interesting ability name here, Selfish Lips. I do think that if someone...
Bit dodgy.
If your opponent knocks you out and then tries to take a prize card, you just be like, Selfish Lips.
Yeah.
And then there you go. You've just announced the best ability name ever. What else have we got in this set that is apart from the obvious?
I just want to look at this Raichu because I've seen it a little bit. If your opponent, because I was thinking, we mentioned the Zorobox.
Yeah.
This could literally be in addition to that.
Yeah, that's actually
so
not too bad.
So Ambushing Spark, it does for 1 colourless 40 damage plus. Because if your opponent has used their V-Star power during this game, this attack does 100 more damage. And that can one-shot Palkia.
That's an easier counter to Palkia, because I know there was Voltorb in the Electrode, I think, in the one I played, which was just, it knocks itself out, but also does like 130 damage. Or something.
I know that
one. But that is a straight answer to Palkia, especially if they're a lower skill player Palkia as well. They will use their V-Star power like turn 1.
Yeah.
But you save that
because they're on autopilot and
but
they might
that could be really strong at like your local league. Palkia is one of the most played decks. I'd say at league level it's
Yeah.
an easy deck to just pick up and go attach, 400 damage.
See you later.
Yeah, but a one prize card attack, that's actually quite strong. That's pretty noteworthy.
And it's what I like about it as well is it's an uncommon.
Yes.
They're going to be everywhere, and it's a good card against one of the best decks in the format right now, and it's going to cost literally nothing.
No.
So for accessibility and new players and whatever, this is probably, there are good little options in here without spending a ton of money.
Yeah, that's quite good actually.
Should we talk about the main one?
Are we going to Dare? Where is it? There he is.
This thing.
There he is. Oh, should we get in there?
Should we not talk about it?
Get the gold one. Get the gold one.
Yeah, let's get the gold one.
Yeah, there we go.
At least have some nice colours.
We might not be able to afford it in real life, but we are able
to
afford it on the screen.
Yeah, we can afford it on the screen. There is a bit of a lag.
Oh, wow.
But it's just come up now for you guys.
There we go. Finally. They're probably like, what are they on about?
So this is the poster boy of the entire set.
Yeah, he's the jock.
Lugia V-Star. So main attack, 4 colourless energy, Tempest Dive. Whoa, it's Silver Tempest. That's what it's named after. I didn't even read the attack name before.
Oh, that's probably
literally the poster boy.
That's literally, yeah.
220
Could it
damage.
be any more obvious?
Yeah. 220 damage. You may discard a stadium in play.
It's a bit excessive. Huh?
It's
Why does it need to discard a stadium? So that's like the counter for that is clearly.
The counter is countered already.
What is the counter? Yeah, the Sinnoh.
Temple of
Temple
Sinnoh, which I played against Lugia,
Yeah.
but funny enough, there was one Temple of Sinnoh on my Giratina deck, but I added a second one. So I had one against. I played Lugia yesterday, I think. Put one in. They bumped it, and then I put my second one in because I had it to hand, and then knocked out their Lugia with the most energy on, and they couldn't respond.
Yeah. So if you are wondering as well why this 4 energy attacker is being talked about, because obviously why have a 4 energy attacker when you can just play what's it called, Tina, which attacks for free, or Lost Box, which is just single prize attacker. There's actually an Archeops in this set, isn't there, which can be used with...
Well, first of all, it's the double turbo energy, isn't it? So it's actually 2 energy attachments.
So you can get that's it. So you got the double turbo energy on there, and you do play, I know it doesn't count for the Archeops, but you can the Lugia, sorry, but you can play 2 energy for any different
for
attackers, which we will be talking about in later, maybe
so
later.
So Archeops' ability Primal Turbo is once during your turn you may search your deck for up to 2 special energy cards, which can be 2 double turbo energies, and attach them to one of your Pokemon and then shuffle your deck. So turn after turn after turn you could get a Lugia set up,
or powerful energies as well. And the way that is put into play is with Lugia's V-Star power. We'll just go back to that. Here we go.
Yeah, so during Summoning Star, during your turn, you may put up to 2 colourless Pokemon, Archeops, that don't have a rule box from your discard pile onto your bench. So I guess initially you want to get them in your discard quick. So you could use Serena.
Or Evolution Incense, Ultra
Ball. Ultra Ball.
And Lugia doesn't state whether they're basic colourless Pokemon, so that's why the Archeops is allowed to be put on the bench straight away. As you can see, it just says 2 star Pokemon that don't have a rule box.
Yeah.
So that's just putting a card that seems rubbish in like introspection and just.
So Lugia only works well because of that.
Yes.
So someone is interesting because one of Tor's tweets, someone tweeted out, "What is the best card in Silver Temple?" And Tor just put in capitals Archeops.
Yeah.
Because without that, Lugia is not that good.
So that gets out powerful energy as well.
Yeah.
So you could get like double turbo and then 2 powerful energy, and a choice belt as well, and that thing is slugging so hard.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to beat, especially if you're playing against a good player. A good player with it who knows what they're doing.
Yeah, they're just going Lugia, absolute bop, and because we're just as I briefly mentioned earlier, the little single prizes that they will be playing, such as Yveltal. I know people playing that with Aurora Energy to get the instant knockout. That's the Yveltal amazing rare.
Yeah,
and there's also a couple of others like the Raikou, which has somehow had like a bunch of popularity online.
Yeah,
so
it's a bit weird. Now 8 packs.
Jeez,
to
I remember
buy
when
online.
that thing was like free.
It was like -1 pack.
They have to give you a pack for them to take it off you. Yeah,
like, it wasn't even worth 1 pack of Lost Origin.
So bad. That's 120 and then 120 to any bench. So
yeah,
but we need to talk about this card.
Yeah, let's talk about Forest Silstone. So I didn't talk about it earlier because I just haven't got the deck in real life yet, but I've also been playing a lot of Mew VMAX online. I kind
Oh.
of forgot to mention it earlier.
Damn, how
But
dare you?
I know.
I love that deck.
Well,
I've
I'm
been playing that as well.
I love Mew. I played it
Oh, you're
the
terrible.
last few Team Challenge qualifiers,
Yeah.
but I just had really bad matchups. Probably the wrong choice of deck to play, but oh well. I play it because I enjoy the game, not because I'm like, I must play this deck today because of this. Everyone's playing this deck instead.
Yeah, I get it.
So well, I'm waiting for a very good thing for beginners, the Mew VMAX Battle Box, which was due out on Friday.
Yes.
Which for us recording it was yesterday.
Yeah.
But it's been put back.
Back again.
We don't know.
Not again, but like all the other stuff is.
Well, because Silver Tempest is the most important thing.
So I know a lot of shops have had the Zoroark boxes have been put back.
I've seen them. I saw them
finally
on Friday.
there?
Yeah, Game had a couple, I think.
They've been put back like a week or so.
Yeah, so I'm waiting for Mew so I can build it because this card.
This does actually go in it, and you can
Two of
use
them.
it under path, which is
there's a bit of confusion
you can
online.
use it under path.
You can
now, but I do get why people will be confused.
Well, apparently I saw a tweet that was saying it wasn't working under path online. I think it was a glitch or something.
Yeah.
And then someone said, but it was attached to Mew VMAX at the time. But they said, if you attach it to Genesect, it actually works online. So I think there's some kind of weird coding error going on there. But yeah, so it kind of makes sense when it's explained to me. So Forest Sealstone, the Pokemon V this card is attached to can use as V-Star power on this card. So Mew VMAX doesn't have a V-Star power to utilize, so this is ideal. Ability of Star Alchemy. During your turn, you may search your deck for a card and put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck. So I'm thinking, when you get Path Marnid...
Yeah, you use that and you get your whatever stadium you play, whether that's...
Lost City, Poker Gear...
Yeah, Poker Gear.
Pokestop, sorry.
Pokestop, that's it, yeah. So,
or your own path, if you really want.
yeah, that's... I don't know why you would, but yeah, sure. But yeah, that is really strong. That helps what was the direct counter. Obviously, there is Drapion, but that was the counter that any deck could really do. You're kind of negating that now, which makes me a little bit stronger. Obviously, Drapion is still bopping it, and that's going to just be a thing.
Drapion's a tough one.
That will probably bring the introduction back of the Meloetta version.
Yeah, I've seen a few.
Yeah, so I think that will be... Obviously, the people moved back to moved to the double turbo version.
Yeah.
But I think that gets directly countered by Drapion, which people can just go, bring up Drapion.
It does.
And it's just so ridiculous.
But if you've got a Meloetta in the active rather than a Mew, say, Drapion needs to find a boss as well.
So the Drapion card does each Fusion Strike card your opponent has in play, or Rapid Strike, or Single Strike, a card text for a colourless Lex. So if they have a full board of Genesect and a Meloetta or a Mew or whatever.
Yeah, so it's 4 colourless energies to attack.
It's attacks for free.
But for every one Fusion, Rapid, or Single Strike you in play of your opponent, you take one of the attack cost off.
Yeah, so it does 190 damage, which weakness on Mewtwo, unfortunately, is a direct knockout. It does do 60 to itself, but that's no consequence for taking that free prize card for no effort.
The only time I have beat a deck with Drapion in with Mew is if I've been able to get Lost City in play straight away.
And get that Drapion out of here.
Being able to get enough damage on to do 220, so you need either a power tablet or a choice belt on your Mew VMAX,
which is accessible.
And most of the time that's quite easy to get done. Sometimes I've not been able to do it, which has been annoying. And then it goes to the Lost Zone, and then unless they play 2 of them,
some people are now, which is just so
why
rubbish.
All that effort just to beat Mew VMAX?
It's like, for God's sake, yeah. So that is a noteworthy card.
I'm gonna be getting a couple of those.
There is another one which isn't as noteworthy. I think that does like 100 damage to everything.
Oh, it
is going to be a new. Until their HP is 100. So that'll just be some decks will play that, but not many.
For 3, so it's similar card, but for 3 colourless energy, Star Gravity. Oh, you need energy for this one.
Yeah. So this is like their new gimmick.
Oh, so
their new gimmick, because they had the scrolls for the 2 Urshifus, and they had I don't know if you know, but in the GX format they had those weird crystals, which were like, I don't know what they were called, like Earthanium Z or something like that.
I remember
and it
them.
does like
Yeah.
400 damage.
When
all
I've
there.
opened slightly older packs,
Well,
I've
yeah.
just gone, what is
I know
this?
there was one that did like 100 damage and basics can't hit it or something
So,
like that.
so this is an item card for 3 colourless energy, Star Gravity. Put damage counters on each of your opponent's Pokemon V until its remaining HP is 100.
Yeah, so that's kind of
you know
rubbish.
what? That
It's kind of rubbish. Though.
Glaring Rapidash does that.
Oh yeah.
And because I played it with Victini a few times.
Yeah.
Because Victini does 100 damage unless it's against a V when it does 220.
Which Victini's this?
The Victini V Max.
Oh yeah.
So it was 100, but you do
Yeah.
120 more if it's a V.
Yeah.
So you would hit it. You would hit something with Rapidash, Glaring Rapidash first.
Yeah.
And then finish it off with your V Max.
I can't say that that's very good.
No, I mean,
but I think this is their new
no,
thing.
Victini's not very good.
There
No,
might
but
be
this
might be a couple of more. There might be a couple more of these.
But it's like very.
That's so niche.
But it's a bit, yeah, it's niche because not everyone's playing Pokemon V.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of you just wasted the space in your deck.
The ability one is really strong, but
Yeah.
that as well will only be in a couple of decks that need that room.
I think this is underrated. Regenerative energy. As long as this card is attached to a Pokemon, it provides colourless energy. Whenever you play a Pokemon from your hand to evolve the Pokemon V this card is attached to, heal 100 damage from that Pokemon.
Okay.
I mean, probably not quite as good, but you could have one in Gudra. If someone's trying to hit it earlier, boss it up, and it's like 20 left, you could attach that, evolve it, and be like, well, look. But then you might as well just play Hyper Potion, maybe.
Yeah, I know there's a card similar to this, the Winden Stadium, which
Oh,
is if
yes.
you evolve a V into a V Max, I believe.
Maybe because that's
It
being
heals
rotated
100.
out, so that's probably
so
a
this would
replacement.
be like the replacement. It's okay. Like you said, it could be in Gudra.
Yeah.
But it's another energy, isn't it? It's another special energy for Blissey to. Oh no.
I know you're not keen on Worker.
Wouldn't work in Blissey. It's okay.
So the Worker who looks like she's in Galar Mine.
She's chilling.
She's
chilling.
Draw 3 cards, discard a save and play. I've seen this in a Mew build.
Yeah, I mean, if you get it, then fair play to you.
But you might not have it when you need it.
But it's also you're drawing 3 cards and not discarding anything.
So for me, I think I would rather, from a bad player's point of view, not a good player who actually played it, I would probably rather play what's the one that draws 3 but your opponent gets rid of their bench? Avery. I'd rather play Avery because that techs against Reggie.
Yes.
And so that's doing a bit more than maybe this is.
I mean, discard a stadium.
But yeah, it's to get rid of Path, isn't it?
Are there any other noteworthy cards? There's the oh, hello.
You know what? I just want to talk about it.
Okay, you want to talk about it
because
this would be you. You can talk about this because I don't think this is good. But you can talk about.
Well,
this.
I'm undecided. At the end of each emergency jelly, that's kind of what we. Because I do triathlon and it looks like the kind of things we eat in a triathlon, so I'm drawn to it. At the end of each turn, if the Pokemon this card is attached to has 30 HP or less remaining, and has any damage counters on it, heal. Yeah, it's a bit heal 120 damage from it. If you healed any damage in this way, discard this card. It's a bit.
There's sturdy.
I'm not sure.
Hairy armor, hairy mama.
I'm not sure anymore.
How'd you say it?
Hairy mama.
Hairy armor.
Harry Armour.
Harry Armour, yeah.
Harry Armour is now called Hairy Mama.
So it does. It has the sturdy ability, which does leave it with 10 if you flip a heads. You're not letting me. No, okay.
Carry on.
So I was just saying about the Harry Armour, the sturdy ability. Leaves
I played
it with
against
10.
that.
Yeah, I know someone who did play that. Someone
In a team challenge qualifier.
Yeah, someone for Graham who goes to a league in Birmingham. He played this for a couple of tournaments.
Nearly lost against it.
Yeah, he now plays Blissey, which is a deck that I absolutely hate.
I like it when I play Giratina.
Well, who doesn't?
Because it can knock it out.
Yeah, but that's really it. There's the evolving incense, captivating incense, which is just that little candle thing there. You can see.
This was in a Mew deck. Flip
Was
a
it?
coin, yeah.
Okay.
Azul had it in his list.
Oh, that's Azul though.
But he's probably just testing stuff out to see if it works or not.
Azul's.
It's just to find an evolution, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think we'll skip.
He was probably getting wind up by his chat.
Yeah, I mean,
What else have we got?
Right, let's have a look.
There's the Drago.
There's a Reggie Drago.
That's okay.
A lot of you think it's one of these that it's really weird because before a set's even out, you get people saying this is going to be good, that's going to be rubbish, and then when the set actually comes out, they'll go, oh, I know, actually this is good, actually this is rubbish instead.
There was Reshiram, Zekrom G tag team GX.
Is that what happened with that?
That was like really hyped up as like the next big dragon, and then it just like flopped. It was terrible.
So it happened like more recently with things like Rayquaza.
The GX. No, sorry, the VMAX.
The VMAX.
Yeah,
so everyone's like, before they even played it, they start hyping stuff up and going, "This is going to be amazing.
This is going to dominate the format."
Yeah, but
and then they play it online, and they're like.
Yeah, but it's based on nothing.
Yeah.
It's just based on what their head's coming up with.
People are just weeping online when they just can't even attach an energy. It's because, yes, the dragons do have this weird energy. You even see it here with the Apex Dragon.
Grass, fire.
That is actually quite good ones, though, to have. Because that's Gardenia's Vigor. You can play that. That allows you to attach 2 grass and then like draw 4 or something like that.
And you can even you probably won't, but you can even accelerate fire still with that stadium.
Oh, the magma basin.
Yeah.
Yes, that's possible. But you could just attach it for turn. I know.
I want it to be good, but I've just hear everyone. I've not even tested it. But
I've played against it online. I was playing Mewtwo v Union. I did brick and I did lose to it, but they got especially with the Legacy Star ability, it says during your turn you may discard the top 7 cards of your deck,
right?
And then you just get 2 of those 7 into your hand. So that is so high risk. But if you get rid of all those Pokemon, it's high reward. So what Pokemon do you think would be played in that? I know there's Tina.
Well, the obvious one is everyone's talking about this Dragonite.
Yes.
Energy Hurricane. So it doesn't really matter about the energy cost, does it? If it's in your discard. So if it does 180 damage for a stage 2, and then search your deck for up to 3 basic energy cards and attach them to your Pokemon any way you like.
Really powerful.
So that's really good.
Yeah, that's Arceus, and then that helps you to get another Regidrago set up without having to play a support for the turn. So instead, you could boss next turn and then get rid of their VMAX or something like that. There
are a few.
That is strong. You can play that with Goodra, I suppose. You could get rid of a Goodra.
Even Giratina.
Yeah. I mean, getting rid of the 2 Lost Zone is not.
You know what? I
viable.
think people are too quick to judge decks. There are so many different ways to play Regidrago.
Yeah.
And straight out the gate, people are saying, "Nah, it's not going to be any good." Well, how do you know that? Yeah, just put a disclaimer. I'll say that's just my opinion, your opinion, something, because you haven't tested it.
No one's tested it.
No one has. And a lot of the time, decks that everyone overlooks end up being quite good later on because someone's got the balls to come up with a deck list, do a lot of testing, and then take it to a tournament and go, actually, everyone goes, "Oh, that's quite good actually. Let's all copy that."
Yeah. So there is one more card which I really want to talk about, which is the Reggie Alecki VMAX.
Oh,
which
okay.
would be in the electric area.
Would
there
it?
He is.
Is it electric?
I think so.
Is it?
So this card has the ability Transistor. So your basic lightning Pokemon attacks do 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon, which is okay. With 3 prize card Pokemon, really rough. You've got to get the Reggie Alecki V first.
Yeah.
But that helps a card, the Vikavolt card, which we were talking about earlier.
It's been rotated soon, isn't it?
Yeah, so it will only be in format for a little bit. But we were talking about this when you were picking me up.
Yeah.
And I was saying how you get Vikavolt in the active, and you play the Reggie Alecki VMAX, and there was a what is it? Radiant. What's it called? The Radiant Dragon thing. I can't remember its name.
The Eternatus.
The Radiant Eternatus, that's it. When you bench it, you put 2 VMAX on the bench. So that does avoid the I'll just boss up your Reggie Alecki V
because
and
this
knock it out.
30 more damage can stack.
Yes, it can stack, yes.
So you can put, you're like, yes, it can stack.
Yeah,
shut
up. Yeah.
like a politician.
Yeah, so it can stack. And then...
so you can easily get 2 of these on your bench.
Yes, you can.
And then you could potentially already have one on your bench, so you can have 3. And then your what is it? Your one that's going out of rotation.
The Vikavolt does.
I call it Vikavolt.
It does 50 damage for lightning and lightning and colorless.
So you're saying now it can do a lot more damage and potentially
now
2
it
shots
could with choice belt with those 2. It could be hitting. Wait, let's do some maths. 3, 6, 9 plus. So it does 160. No,
160.
When I did the math, 140. Sorry.
And Vikavolt is a really good because when you use that attack, your opponent cannot use any item cards next turn, and that is most decks stumped.
Yeah,
it's just pass.
Yeah, that's Mew stumped again.
Yeah,
that's
because you can Genesect, but you can't do anything.
Yeah, that's most like decks that are single prizes that are stumped. Like
Yeah.
Reggie is pretty. I can't do much because obviously the items like Quick Ball and Hotch Ball get rid of the energy.
I mean, everything.
Yeah.
What decks don't need item
Like, could
cards?
you think about if there was a format without items, Pokemon wouldn't exist.
It would just be
a thing.
Pokemon energy supporters.
Yeah, it wouldn't be. It wouldn't be
No
able.
Switch,
There would be nothing.
no
would
Quick
there?
Ball.
No, there'd be nothing. So, and also a good thing to note is that this Regieleki has free retreat, which is such a good thing to have.
Yeah.
So that if you don't, you can also play Ponchos on there as well to stop the boss of the Regieleki and get the free prize knockout.
Yeah.
But if they do try and get it stuck and they don't have any attack, there's the free retreat straight into another Vikavolt. Item luck. Your deck, whether it's Arceus, Palkia, whatever, can't play any items.
But you can retreat.
But you can retreat. Yeah, so it's really good,
That's
I'd say.
why I really liked Corviknight VMAX.
Yes. So there was the Eternatus was announced just the other day.
Maybe 2 days ago.
Yeah, just a couple of days ago.
I think it's brilliant.
I think it's cool. It's
Because
it's pretty
if
good.
you go on your first turn, you can get VMAXs on the bench.
Yeah.
That's mad.
Yeah, that's pretty mad.
That's absolutely mad.
I think it'll be a fun card to definitely play, but I think this will be a main use of it.
Yeah.
For sure. Is there anything else worth talking about in this?
Nothing
I don't
in
think
there.
so. There's the Waylord.
Not. Yeah, they've got your Radiant Serena.
Yeah,
which heals 20 damage from
that's
each
it, isn't
Pokemon.
it? That's the set.
Pretty
I'm gonna
much.
say my first opinion on this set was it's jank. It's so
Jank.
bad. There's nothing
For
playable
the
in
old
it.
people listening,
There's-
what does
there's-
jank mean?
Trash.
I like this artwork. That's me walking to the shop to buy
not that
buy
guy.
chocolate.
Yeah. it's got a fun attack though. It does
Cycle.
Yeah. If you
That's pretty cool.
That's quite cool. Yeah.
Hang on, we stumbled upon this. Search
No,
a deck
yeah.
for up to 2 Stage 1 Pokemon and put them onto your bench.
So that's quite interesting. Quite
But you've
fun.
got to evolve it first
Yeah,
and whatever.
it's fun though. Where's the
Yeah.
Drowsy? Drowsy's always man-spreading. Where is he?
Drowsy's having a snooze.
I know, yeah. He's just chilling. It's not very good. though,
Yeah. Right,
unfortunately.
should we do this quiz then?
Oh, yes. It's the quiz of the week.
Quiz of the week.
Yeah, so if you want to explain what's
Right.
going on.
Okay, so we had this idea that, well, it was both of our ideas merged. That I have got written down the text of an ability,
Yes.
and
Okay.
you get 1 point if you can name the ability name, and you get another point if you can name the Pokemon which it
Yeah.
comes from.
So you're going to give me the ability name, then then
no,
after
the ability text.
the ability text, and I've
Yeah.
got to get the ability name.
Yeah.
Okay.
If this is too hard, then we'll change it for next time.
Yeah. Well, are we going to do clues or not?
Yeah.
Okay.
We can do clues.
So if you can give me a clue.
And
yeah.
then the second one will be the text of an attack.
Okay. So, yeah, that sounds good. Yeah.
Right. We've got it written down.
Oh.
I've got it written
okay.
down.
In your little cheeky notebook. Okay. So, let's go.
Here we go. Once during your turn, this is an ability.
Okay. All right.
Once during your turn, you may switch one of your opponent's face down prize cards with the top card of their deck.
Once during.
The cards stay face down, obviously. Oh no. So once during your turn, you may switch one of your opponent's face down prize cards
Yeah.
with the top card of their deck.
What?
And if you need, I can tell you what set it's from and what type it is.
Yeah.
or
What's
whatever.
the type?
So the type, it's a water card,
Oh my god.
and the set it's from is
I have no idea.
Darkness Ablaze,
That's just what? Okay.
and it's a stage
Darkness
one.
Ablaze.
Stage 1.
Is it Milotic?
Is that your final
I
answer?
don't know. Is it Milotic?
Are you asking me, or are you?
I am.
You
I am. Is
no,
it?
no,
Oh,
it's not. I
okay.
think I've made these too hard, but it's fun to.
I
try
have
and
never
guess.
heard of this. It's not playable, so I've never heard of this.
No, it's not. It's
Wait,
not playable.
what's the ability name?
The ability name is Shuffle Dance. That
What?
was one of them.
Who does that?
Shuffle Dance.
Is the attack the same Pokemon?
What's that? What's the shuffles?
Who does that?
The Shuffle Dance.
Who is that? Is that Mr. Rhyme?
Oh, you got it!
Yeah.
I'll get you 1 point for that.
Oh, okay. That's yeah. Shuffle Dance. Yeah.
That was pretty good. Yeah,
Oh.
Shuffle Dance, Galarian, Mr. Rhyme.
Yeah, I didn't. If you would have get so I'll get one. Also, get half a point.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
do halves.
half. Okay.
I think next time I'll make them a bit easier,
Okay.
maybe.
So
So the
what's
next
this
one So this is an attack.
Yes.
Attack description text.
Okay, all right.
This attack does 30 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon.
Does it have a like base damage or not?
No.
Okay.
Well, I'm pretty sure it doesn't when I looked at it.
You've made this so hard.
I know.
I was gonna go with like, what's Zacian's ability name?
Were you? That's easy.
Yeah. But I don't
Intrepid.
know.
I've gone too hard. I'm too harsh.
Yeah.
With
This is gonna be so unfair. I'm
Yeah.
gonna be like, I'm gonna have this half of the point for the rest of
All
the
right. So
series.
your points are worth double.
What, you're just going to make them hard?
No. If you get it, you get double the points.
Right.
Because I made them harder for you.
Okay, we need to sort this out. But anyway, that's part of the process of learning.
I just want to win something.
All
Lewis.
right.
I lose to you all the time.
What do we get at the end then? What's this? Or is it a surprise?
No, just I don't think we're going to get
A hug.
free Dragon Shield sleeves eventually.
Oh. Okay, all right. So give me this attack then. Wait, you've already given it.
I'll give you the attack name.
Okay.
You've got to try and guess the Pokemon.
Okay.
The attack name is Swoop Across.
Well, that's similar. Wait, there's 30 damage. Is that Noivern V?
No,
Oh, okay.
it's not Noivern.
No,
It's a V.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought it would be.
The V is from Darkness Ablaze.
What's of Darkness Ablaze? I don't know what this set is.
Don't you?
What was in Darkness Ablaze?
It's a colourless
I don't know.
Pokemon. Oh, okay.
I don't know. I really don't. I'm stumped.
Well,
I'm rubbish at
it's
this.
a dragon, but before dragon, the type was back introduced again. We'll keep going until you get it.
I'll never get it. Pressure
It's a dragon Pokemon.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's a V. It's
Yeah.
got Swoop Across as the attack.
I don't know. What V's are there? What V's are? I don't know.
And it's big and blue. It's got massive wings, and it swoops down. Swoops
Lugia.
across. No, there's no Lugia in Darkness
A
Ablaze.
big blue thing.
And it starts with an S.
Smig. No.
No, Smeargle.
What? Stoutland.
Stoutland's a dog, Scottish dog.
Oh yeah.
It's a dragon, starts with an S.
Salamence.
Yeah, well done. So I gave
I
more
don't
clues
know.
to make him really hard
So
quizzes.
have I just got like half a point then? Because that was ridiculously long. For
No,
me
you
to
get 1 point because the Mr. Rhyme was pretty hard to get.
That's a
and you
bit
got
cheeky
that.
then.
Yeah.
All right.
All
So
right, you
we
give
need
me
to.
some.
Yeah, we need to.
We're
I'm gonna give you a Thailand off after this, man. That was so terrible. Well, Mr. Rhyme's shuffle dance. Oh.
Yeah, man.
But I hope that was.
Have you got any for me?
Maybe. No,
Oh.
not today. No.
Not today.
No.
Oh, okay.
We'll do this as a switcheroo on a weekly basis.
Well, we'll do today's quiz as a trial run, and
Okay.
we'll start the scores
yeah.
next time.
Okay.
But,
well,
but-
after we've actually refined the rules.
yeah.
We just tried to make.
and we'll do
the last
like
15 minutes fun.
one question each or
Yeah,
something.
that sounds fun. Yeah.
Right, I've had enough now.
Are you actually?
Sure, we've been going for an hour and 12 minutes.
That's a bit sad. That is.
Is there anything else we want to say before we go?
No.
That's stuff we can talk about on the
Yeah.
next one.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we do like a really cringe outro?
No,
like-
because no one's going to be listening right now.
Bye, guys.
Yeah, that's Lewis being an idiot.
So,
All right, should we just
yeah.
right, bye.
Bye.